Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Well, let's begin. Hello, my friends. I'm gonna tell you about myself. Been looking for a job as an English teacher or work in a bilingual teleperformance. I have noticed there is a question that they usually make. They always make this question. The first thing they ask is, tell me in English about you. Tell me about yourself. Well, for me, it's a very difficult question, and I think for many people it's very difficult to answer too, because we are not used to things about our lives, what we do, what we think. This is a very difficult question. But they make this question as part of the exam. So, this time, I'm gonna tell you who am I, or who I am. I'm a civil engineer. I studied here in Puebla, Mexico. I studied from 1974 to 1978. And before that, when I was in bachelor, from 1972 to 1975, I studied English. I studied English in the Anglo-Mexican Institute. Studied 3 years. I studied the basic level, intermediate, advanced, conversation, and I studied the preparation for the first certificate in English. This exam is from Cambridge, and England recognized this exam. They require this qualification to give you a visa or something like that. And so I wanted to know my level in this moment. And in internet, I made an exam, a very similar exam as TOEFL, as IELTS, as the Cambridge. And in this exam, in this test, 5 levels. If you pass one level, automatically you go to the next, and then to the next, and so forth. Finished. I got my results. I have very good qualifications. There are some aspects that are considered to give you the qualification. They measure your grammar, your oral and understanding, and things. And I had an 88, and I could have a better qualification, But in the oral, I only had 60. In my knowledge of grammar, in my knowledge of writing or understanding, 100. So I know that my weakness is talking fluency, because in my experience, I didn't have chance to practice. I made translations. I worked as a translator, so I understand very well. I studied a lot of grammar. My preparation for the first certificate in English was 100 grammar. So I don't have any trouble in grammar or making translations. My main trouble is speaking. Some people say fluency. They call this trouble fluency. I speak too low. In Spanish, I speak slow too. So if I speak slow in Spanish, that in English it's worse. I don't know. I'm used to talk slowly. What can I say? I'm a civil engineer. I studied in Puebla, Mexico. I started my career in English. My experience in English, well, I was invited when I was studying my career. I was invited to give classes, English classes. I was teacher in my university, teaching. But yes, you are right. I taught English grammar. I gave English grammar. Grammar is almost what the teachers used to teach. In all the schools in Mexico. I remember when I was in primary school, in secondary, in preparatory or bachelor, I had English classes in my school. But I remember what I learned was the verb be in present, in past, and future. Only conjugation, mainly of the verb be or to be. So I learned very well. I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, they are, you are, they are. In past, I was, you were, she was, it was, we were, you were, they were. And in future, the verb be. It seemed to be the only thing you ought to know to speak in English. The verb be, you pass to the next level. And the next level is to review the verb be. That was my experience. Why did I begin to study English out of my school, in an academy, in an institute. Well, when I had my first class in English in my school, in the preparatory school, my teacher, she was a girl. My teacher gave the whole class in English. And imagine our faces. We didn't understand anything, so we said, what? And when the class was over, spoke in Spanish, and she warned in Spanish. She warned to study English by ourselves, by ourselves, because she wasn't going to teach anything in English well. So she only said that she was going to talk in English in the class. So I had to look for a solution to my problem, and I went to the American English Institute. And there, I began to study this course, American English course. Yes, this is the course that I'm teaching in internet here in my channel. This book, this course, at the end of the book, grammar, the grammar, and the rest of the book is exercises to practice the grammar. Well, with these books, gave another step. I knew that there were another verbs, only the verb be. And I learned how to use the adjectives and the structure of one sentence in affirmative, in negative, interrogative. And I learned vocabulary. And when we had our exams in the preparatory school, I was very happy because I was the only one got a 10. The maximum qualification, 10. I remember a classmate recently came from the United States, and she spoke better English than Spanish. And she was studying with me in the preparatory school, got 8. She almost fainted. She couldn't believe that I got a 10 and she got 8. When the teacher explained her that she got an 8 and only an 8 because besides she knew a lot of English oral, and she could talk hours and hours. But her grammar was poor because she didn't study grammar. And the exam was written, and I got 10 in the exam. But to be oral, maybe I had got 6, 5, 4, or 0. Or 0. Because you see, now I'm in troubles to to talk to you. I don't have any trouble talking with some Americans or English people. Why? Because I have dark skin. I look like Mexican. So immediately they begin to speak in a slow pace. They try to be clear. And I can say, I didn't understand you. Please repeat me. And the person repeat words because she or he knew that I don't understand that words. And I can say, can you spell your name, or can you spell what you are saying? And so there are many ways I can have when I talk to a person. To me, it's easy to get a conversation, but one-on-one. Because when I watch a movie, it's hard for me to understand without subtitles. To understand the movies and the songs. I've been studying English by my own for several years, because when I got a 10 in the preparatory school, it motivated me to continue. And I haven't stopped reading a book, reading a novel, listening songs, now watching movies in YouTube. From that year to now, I've learned, if I had knew some tricks to shorten my knowledge, how to improve my there are many tricks you can use to have a better level. Maybe today I could be a parrot, but it's not the case. The case is I need to improve my fluency. These videos are for practicing and to prove that the secrets to shorten the English knowledge function. They function. And I'm gonna prove that. Well, I discovered that to make a speech, you must prepare. You must prepare with some notes. Let me see, like this, like this. Doing mental maps, mind maps, mind maps. Well, in the school, used to take with us our accordions, a few notes about what we thought was important for us. What could the teacher ask us in the exam? This is the same. You make some notes about what are you going to say. Helps. For instance, no, I reviewed all what I wrote, to see not that escaped me, that escaped to me. Ah, I made a note. It says, what I am doing now. Well, I'm 60 years old. So, I'm an old person. I live. I had the experience of having an internet coffee here in Puebla, where I rented computers. And there, I learned to use the PC to navigate in internet. And so, here in my house, I have my computer, printer, I have the internet connection, and so. Some kind of works in my computer. And I send to my clients, for example, facturation in works in Excel and in Word, in Office. And I send the results by internet in an email. And I don't need to get out of my house. Pay me for that works, for those works. That's what I do. That's what I do. What do I want to do in this year, 2017? Well, this year, I want to continue working from my house, in my computer, using internet, giving English classes in this, my channel. And I am looking for a job in an English school or in a bilingual teleperformance. But I need to improve my fluency. I need to speak faster and faster and faster. So that's what I think, what I'm going to do this year. I have the basis. I have very strong basis. I've never stopped studying English. Do is dream and improve my fluency. So I give some tips to advise you, to warn you that if you don't practice your fluency, you are going to have the same troubles that I have. English is a very difficult language. And it's so difficult. It's a pity if you make it harder, because giving more importance on their written English or their listening, because the brain is lazy exercise. It's like a computer. It's in and out. In from in by your ears and out by your mouth. I know a lot of vocabulary. I know people who speak better than me, and they have less vocabulary, and I think it's my lazy brain who is storing and storing and storing vocabulary and thinking it's the brain treasure, the brain's treasure. My brain doesn't want to share that knowledge with people through my voice. It's very funny. So, peace with my brain. Peace and love. Praying that my brain helps me out of my mind all the vocabulary that I possess to improve my English, my fluency English. Okay. So, well, this time I wanted to make video. Wait for me, please. Well, I wanted to make this video conference to see if there is one person, two person, three persons. If there's anybody who would like to talk with me or with other person, I think to improve our fluency, we need to talk each other, to practice and practice and practice, and practice and practice and practice. Let me see one thing. So I like to connect people, to practice English. Interested? Join to this kind of chat. And if you are interested, you can find someone who wants to improve his fluency too, or her fluency, if this is a woman. Well, that's all for now. I'll make these kind of videos more often to look for a person who is interested in talking one-on-one to improve our fluency, because our brain is very lazy, as I said. It's very lazy, and we don't have a balance. If we put in one side of the balance what we have of vocabulary in our brain, the time that we have invested to put in information, and the time that we have spent to speak and to use that vocabulary, the time that we have invested in is maybe 90%, and out through our mouth, maybe it's 10%. So what we need to do? We need to give a balance, to talk more. Talk, 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 talk. And this kind of videos, live videos, I think they are very good, because you can make friends and you can be talking and talking and talking and talking. So I think that to improve my fluency in a fast time, in a record time, it's good to use YouTube, the live video conference. Try to make your videos. Try to speak. Then listen what you have said. You can see if you speak slowly, or if you speak fast. I don't recommend to speak fast, because you don't have time to give a good pronunciation. Maybe when you have practiced, you have practiced a lot, maybe you can improve your speed. But for the beginners, no, try to speak in a slow pace. What's the hurry? Remember that all you have to do is practice, practice, practice. Don't give a lot of importance, much importance. Don't give much importance. Fluently. Fluently gets through the time. Prefer to be understood before talking fast, because you need to have good habits. And it's a good habit to have a good pronunciation. Remember Tarzan and Jane. Tarzan didn't know English. Jane was her teacher. And Tarzan, his first words were, "I'm Tarzan, me Tarzan, you Jane." You can watch, he was speaking with bad grammar, but Jane understood what he was trying to say. Why? Because she said, "Me Tarzan, you Jane." So, English, you can understand English using your hands, using your hair, using your movements, using graphic examples. Well, this is a notebook. I think you understand. Why? Not by my pronunciation. It's because I'm showing you what I want you to understand. So If you agree with me, we'll see you next time by this video. Okay. Goodbye, my friends. Ciao, ciao.